Hey, so my workout today got interrupted. So instead of recording two videos separately, I'm just going to put them together. So I'm going to talk a little bit about analysis paralysis, something that I have a lot of thoughts about. I might have mentioned it before, but I had an interview today, or sorry, not today, like a few days ago. And I want to talk about like what makes trying to show off how I'm better than other applicants. And I said that I like hardworking, of course, very teachable, stuff like that. And I made sure to mention that I am like very comfortable, not to say very comfortable at being bad at things, but I'm a fast learner. I'm not like, I don't get upset when I'm like not good at something. Like in order to be good at something, you have to first be bad at something. When you're first starting off, I think it's called I forgot what it's called, parable of incompetency, something along those lines. But yeah, it seems counterintuitive, but in order to be good at something, you have to first be bad at something, and I think that's something that a lot of young people, especially around my age, I'm 25. Aren't very good at, because we grew up in the information age. Google, all these search engines, have existed for our entire lives. Like, there's a common saying, if you don't know something, if you ask like a really dumb question on the internet, people are gonna respond, Google is free, or like if you ask someone to explain something, people are just gonna be like, oh, it's not my job to educate you. So I think that, of course, the like people of color, having to like explain like racism to white people, mostly white people, just be like, oh, Google is free, it's not my job to educate you. I think that's like super valid, but also, it is also important to educate other people. You should, it's kind of like, of course, it's whatever you want, but, we do grow up around like a lot of information. So the point I'm trying to make with here is that we grow up around so much information that we get like analysis paralysis. Like it's unacceptable to be bad at something, because we have all this information available that if you're bad at something, it's like a personal failing, or I don't know, like some sort of like moral issue, or I don't know, like integrity. I don't know, like you're not hardworking enough. It's terrible if you don't know how to do anything. It's terrible if you don't know anything. It's a crime to be ignorant on any issue. And if you ask any questions, Google is free. It's not my job to educate you. I think that's like very aggressive, and I think it's a bad way to come across, to be honest. So I think this like kind of transfers over to like a lot of young people, around my age, me included. This isn't something. This is only something recently that I became more comfortable. Like, I've only recently became comfortable being bad at stuff. If you want to get good at something, you have to first be bad at something. So, I mean, like even here, like this is me in my home gym working out. Because I hate working out in front of other people. I haven't been to the gym, like a real gym, since like I was in high school. So it's only, I mean, like these class workouts that I take, it's not a real gym. It's not like, a gym membership. It's a class, with the people trying to become firefighters. Anyway, so that's like the only other time like I'm working out with other people, and I actually really like it, But I am very uncomfortable going to the gym. I'm very uncomfortable working out in front of other people, I don't know, I get a little self-conscious. Not because I just get self-conscious. Anyway, but people are like really, like people don't want to do anything like anymore. They don't want to take any risks. Like it's very risk avoidant. I talked a lot about risk avoidance before. You can't not take risks, saying, not like going outside is a risk, but staying inside is also a risk of other things. Like not getting anything done and dying alone. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is there's a huge analysis paralysis that comes with like a lot of young people. And I think it's a real shame. So during that interview, I made sure to mention like, oh, like I am comfortable being bad at stuff. I want to get good at stuff, of course, but it's okay. Like I'm hardworking. I will figure it out eventually, but I'm not a quitter. Like I know like old people always like to make fun of young people and like the work ethic of like young people. So I just made sure to mention like, oh yeah, like I'm a hard worker. I am not gonna quit under any circumstance. Like I'll figure it out. And I thought I did a good job being like making that a selling point. We'll see what happens. I'll mention it, but I'll hear back next week. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I still think like analysis paralysis affects a lot of young people in a lot of different ways. Politically, young people don't really want to like. Young people are very overwhelmed. You can't say anything anymore. Like, oh, you want to speak about Palestine? Well, what's happening in Africa? What about Congo? What about Sudan? What about blah, 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 blah. Like, there's a lot of whataboutisms, which a lot of them I think are, like, disingenuous. I think that's how you say the word. But, like, people don't even want to talk about anything just because of that. Like, oh, you're so dumb. You don't know everything about foreign policy, you don't know all these other things. Like it doesn't, you don't have to have like a PhD and stuff to have like a pretty basic understanding of like world politics, what's going on around the world, or having an opinion even. Like a lot of people just think that like if you express any political opinion, you have to be like an expert on it. Of course, you should know what's going on before you start saying stuff. You shouldn't just be spewing, vomiting all over on your Facebook timeline. But still, like, there is a huge, like, analysis paralysis. I'm gonna say that word a lot. And then probably the biggest one is relationships. I saw a whole video by Little Bill just talking about why Gen Z is so bad at dating. And I identified with that. I've had okay luck dating, but still like, I mean, not so much good luck as of lately, but still, it's very difficult. This is something like I witness around like a lot of my friends as well. Nobody wants to like jump into a relationship because nobody wants to take a risk. Like it's the height of all these problems. Like it's expressed by far the most in dating. Nobody wants to take a risk, and there's a huge amount of like information overload. Like so many options, quote unquote. Because all these dating apps, they try to just, it's like a tease, and I just want to show as many people as possible. And it was it's not real. It's these apps are more or less designed just to keep you online on the app as much as possible so they can serve as many ads. That's the business model. They don't want you to get into a relationship, even though they're dating apps. They're not really made for dating. They're made to make money. So yeah, it's tough out there, streets are tough. So I just really wanted to say, like, there's a huge parable of competency. Maybe it's a parable of incompetency. It's one of the two. People should be taking more risks, and I wholeheartedly like encourage it. Go take some risks. Don't do anything like crazy, of course. Don't like jump off a building into like a small pool or something like that. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying, but I am saying, fall in love. Better to have loved than to have lost than to have never loved at all. That's what they say. It does suck to lose, though. But it's, like, acceptable. It's okay it's okay to, like, be ignorant and not know stuff, I mean, no, it's impossible to know everything. And as much as, like, I encourage you to educate yourself, like, you can also, I'm pretty nice about things like that. Like, I don't mind, like, explaining racism to white people. A lot of black people, I'm happy, really don't like that. They really don't like explaining racism to white people, and they've stopped. Like, they don't want to do that anymore. And I get it, when I was in Europe, I spent a lot of time in Spain, and I did a lot of explaining racism to white people. So, like, I didn't care that much, I was a little upset about it at the time, but, as I've gotten older, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, you can hear about this, you can hear about, redlining, discrimination, and just, like, how not mixed, like, how separated, America is along racial lines. Like, yeah, I didn't mind too much explaining it. These days I don't really mind educating people about it. But, I still understand the contrary viewpoint of just being like, I'm not going to talk to white people about racism anymore. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about racism. I don't want to talk about classism, sexism, all the isms. Like, I'm not there to educate. You need to take that on your own accord. I understand that viewpoint, but, there is a huge amount of, like, information overload. Like, I'm not going to go up to Klans members, like KKK. I'm going to be like, oh no, racism is real. And they're just going to, like, shit on me. Like, I'll if there's, like, an actual willingness to learn, like, I don't mind that. But I'm not going to go up to conservatives and just be like, oh, you guys are so dumb. Not that all conservatives are like that, but you guys get what I mean. I'm not going to go up to the Klan. Just be like, by the way, racism is real. Nor do I think anyone should do that. Like, if somebody's willing to learn, then you go ahead. But, of course it's not your job to educate them. Anyway, yeah, all that information overload. It's a lot. And it's kind of only getting worse, and yeah, the internet, what we used to call the internet is now just like, I don't know, maybe a dozen apps, apps and websites that pretty much control a whole lot of information. There's been the death of, like, news publications. Small newspapers, local media has just died. This huge, like, centralization of power. It's just small, like, a few conglomerates of media. It's done a real, like, disservice to, real, like, integrity and search of truth. It's still overloading us, but it's coming from fewer sources. And I think, like, the information out there isn't that good, to be honest. Like, the amount of misinformation we've seen out there is just really bad. And now we have AI writing news articles, and it's not good either. So, things are kind of looking a little bleak, to be honest. And people have to be people just have to have a lot more willingness to learn, but they also have to have, like, a lot of media literacy. It's just a lot of learning that needs to be done in a whole new way. So, I shouldn't be like, you got to be willing to put yourself out there. I got to be willing to take risks, do some real analysis. It's okay to be wrong, but, you should still learn. So yeah, that's kind of all. So I thought the interview went well. I talked about like a few other things. You know, a whole lot of you know, like a willingness to learn, and like no jobs above me or below me, I guess. You know, talking about all those good things. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. And that's why I got the haircut. To be honest, I like never get my haircut. So I got the yeah Edgar ass haircut. It is what it is. So that's kind of my whole thing. Information overload and parable of competency. Anyway, let me explain a little bit about the workout. Now at this point, so this first part, just a push day, and I did a lot of bench pressing. I actually felt really good about my bench pressing. I got up to 205 pounds. I did 4 sets of 4 at 205 pounds, and it went really well. Before, maybe like a week and a half ago, I did like 2 reps at 205 pounds. Like I was only doing like two reps. Then I did 3 reps at 205, and now I did 4. I think I did even more sets with 4 reps than I did before, like at 3 reps and 2 reps. So I'm feeling really good, like really strong. I might go all the way up to 225 and try to go for reps there, just see how that feels. But yeah, the incremental increases in strength in my pecs been really good. These are like little tricep extensions. So here I'm doing like a lot of focus on like time under tension. So some of these reps are better than others, but I'm really trying to be slow on my way down and really trying to feel my triceps work. I thought I did a pretty good job there. Same thing with the dumbbell shoulder presses. I was really focusing on having that time under tension and then really exploding up. I thought I did an okay job. I definitely felt the burn. So that was nice. And then I finished it off with push-ups. You'll see, like, I'm pretty much dead by the end of this. So it is what it is. I was also focusing on having really good push-up form. Try to get those, like, chest to the ground. I think that was, like, I was looking at my push-up forms from, like, a week ago, and it was like my stomach was hitting the ground rather than my chest. The problem with that is that the hardest part of the push-up is at the bottom, so I have to like really make sure I'm getting like my chest down to the bottom, and getting that portion of the rep is probably like the most important part. It's like the pull-up. You'll see my pull-ups later. The pull-up, the most important part of the rep is at the bottom. Also like the push-up, like I got to get that full range of motion because that's where the most important part is. So I was really focused on just having good form. I was trying to do like 4 sets of 15, but I kind of fell apart at the 3rd set. So the 4th set just didn't even happen. Anyway, yeah, a lot of Carlos content. I'm really like happy about how my chest is coming along. Like my upper body is just getting stronger and stronger. And I just like am not used to that. Obviously the weight gain's been really good to me. I think I'm at 199. I lost like a little bit of weight. I got close to 205 for a sec, but then now I'm back to like 199, 200. This is all fasted. I think the reason why I was at 205 was because I just ate. So yeah, I mean, my weight's kind of holding steady at 200. As long as I stay within like 195 and 205, like that's okay. I was saying before I might do like a mini cut, trying to see how, like, if I could lose some fat, but like that's not as important. God, Carlos is kind of messing with my range of motion, messing with my rep. I got a little upset right there because I was like really close, to failure. I was just like not hitting it. Anyway, yeah, so really excited. I think I can do 245. We'll see. I want to try to get 220. I'm talking about bench press. My 225 bench press, I want to try to get like 3 or 4 reps before I start hitting up 245. Another problem with what I have is that I don't have the 5 pound bar, 5 pound weight, and 2.5. I wish I had 2.5s and 5s. That would really help with my progressive overload. Like those 2.5, you don't realize how important they are until you don't have them. You don't know what you got until it's gone. But those 2.5s are really good, and I miss them from like high school football. They're really good for progressive overload. Surprised I haven't used them, like had them yet. But yeah, I do miss them a lot. Okay, so here we go. This is the pull-ups. Really focusing on, like, this is what I'm talking about, the bottom of the rep. I'm trying to do 5. I'm doing 10 sets, and I was doing 5 reps. Before I was only doing 4 reps. So now I was like, all right, let me try to do 5. I only recently discovered keeping my scapula retracted, and that helps so much with my pull-ups. It's made them a lot easier. And yeah, I've been doing a lot better with my pull-ups ever since then. So I thought, okay, let's do 5 reps instead of 4 reps. And it went okay. I failed, I think my 7th or 8th set, I failed. When I got to the 5th rep, and I had to start kipping a little bit on those last few. So, I mean, it didn't go perfect. But I'm happy that I did 5 reps instead of 4 still. I definitely got a lot better workout on my lats than I would have otherwise. So overall, I thought it was pretty good. Unfortunately, this today, my workout, it did get interrupted. So I think I have 1 set of me doing hang cleans, and then I had to leave. So if you count the hang clean as kind of a squat, getting at the bottom and then bringing it up, it's actually kind of more intense than the squat. I still technically squatting every day. I did say that I was going to stop doing the low bar squats, at least until I figure it out, because it just hurts so much. See, this is bad form as far as the pull-ups go. So in some senses, it wasn't. I think that was a set that I did fail. So in some senses, it was bad because I wanted to have that perfect form getting to the bottom. Those reps aren't as good as before too. What a lot of the information that I've gotten online is make sure that your reps on your first set and the reps on your last set look the same. And I did not have that. These reps look a lot worse. I'm not going down all the way, as you can see, and I'm kipping and I'm failing. That was only 4. So yeah, this is it. This is my hang clean. And I only did it with 95 pounds, 25 on each side. So yeah, I wish I could have done more. So we'll see. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to because I really wanted to do some bicep work. So unfortunately I wasn't able to do that, but we'll see. I do want to look more into my hang clean form. I was looking at some videos about how different people have different hang clean forms. And I wanted to kind of draw a bar path of what mine looks like. Try to see what my technique is. But these hang cleans are fun. It's been a while since I've hang cleaned. And I at least hang clean with a little bit of weight, So this is fun. I got to do it more often. But yeah, anyway, that's 2 days of lifting for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye.